Hi, everybody. Welcome to DC Public Safety. I'm your host, Len Sipes. Today's program is extraordinarily interesting. It's about satellite tracking of offenders, or global positioning system, or GPS tracking of offenders. We have two new pieces of research from New Jersey and Florida that basically states that individuals under satellite tracking do a lot better than those who don't. So on our first half of the program, we have Zaid Muhammad and Brandy Johnson, two individuals who are currently under the supervision of my agency, the Court Services and Offender Supervision Agency. On the second half of the program, we'll have Paul Brennan and Carlton Butler, two individuals who are involved in supervising people under GPS for, again, Court Services and Offender Supervision. And with that introduction, we go to Zaid and to Brandy. First of all, thank you both for being on the program. I think it is extraordinarily important for the public to hear from people, not just me, and not just the expert, but the people who are actually being supervised, to give your perspective about satellite tracking or GPS tracking. And Brandy, the first question goes to you. Now, what was it like being under satellite tracking and GPS tracking? What did it mean to you on a day-to-day basis?
Well, when I first got on the GPS, I didn't like it at all. Right. I felt like, okay, I didn't have any freedom to do anything, but at the same time, I felt like it was better than being in prison. Now, being that I'm grown older and matured some, the second time I was on GPS, I complied. You know, they gave me a curfew. I applied with my curfew and everything. Got me a job. So I basically.
And you're doing well now. You're in your own apartment and
yeah,
you're working.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm working.
You're paying taxes.
Paying taxes.
You're not a tax burden. You're a taxpayer. That's
right.
What we like.
Right.
Okay.
And basically, I feel like the GPS is good now. Back then I didn't, but now I feel like it's good because different reasons. You know, you have people that come up missing. You know, you can easily find them on the tracking device.
Right.
You have people that basically.
If they suspect you of being involved in a crime and the GPS unit shows that you're home, it protects you at the same time.
And that's what I was about to say. Also, that if they try to say you were somewhere, you have the GPS to back up for you. So actually, the GPS is very good in a lot of different situations.
Zaid, we're going to go over to you now. I've talked to dozens of offenders who have essentially said, you know, I'm on the corner, and somebody comes along and tries to get me involved in drugs or tries to get me involved in crime, and they pull up their pants leg and they see this device on their pants leg, and the other guys basically say, okay, I understand, forget it, I don't want you involved in this. Is that a reality or is that a myth? What do you think?
Well, that's a reality to an extent. You know, we have some friends that will come along and they'll see that you're back home, and excuse me, and they would like to have you hang out with them, you know, but we're under supervision. There's certain things that we can and cannot do. Right. If we show them the device, some of them will say, man, well, I don't care about that. Others will say, well, man, look, you know, just go on and do your thing and I'll do my thing.
Right. It almost acts as an excuse to keep you out of trouble at times.
Definitely, because there's been some incidences in my history where crimes have happened there in the neighborhood, but the officers and things, they knew where I was at. Right. So I didn't have to go through the hassle of being talked to, you know, talked down to and all that, because they knew where I was.
Right, it keeps you free and clear of suspicion.
Exactly.
All right. And you're doing well as well, Zaid.
Yes,
you've been involved
in my own place.
You're working and got your own place, and you've been involved in some programs
through CSOSA. I've taken therapy programs, you know, and I've talked to a therapist, and you know, and they've kept me on an even keel so I don't start no negative thinking, you know, and backsliding. But also the GPS helps that, you know, because, you know, if anything would pop into my mind about doing something wrong, I can always say, well, they would know where I'm at. You know, so I'm not going to do anything because they can track me down. Right.
You know, and what would, you know, you're both out of the prison system. GPS is one ingredient in terms of all of this. But, you know, Zaid, you talked about programs and how the program helped you out. You know, GPS is just one piece of an overall puzzle, one piece of an overall plan. But you have to supervise people. You have to hold individuals accountable who are under supervision. But do you feel the programs, drug treatment, mental health treatment, employment, housing, they help or don't help? What do you think?
Well, in my opinion, they help, you know, and I don't think we have enough of it.
Okay.
There's always the negative element that tears down the good things that has happened.
Right.
We don't hear enough about the people that complete these programs and go on to do better things and become good citizens,
right.
Pay their taxes and all that. We always hear in the news media about the 1 or 2 people that mess up,
right.
you know. And I think that the more programs that we have for the offenders, the better it would be for society as a whole.
You know, it seems like a good compromise, Brandy, because what GPS does, it says to the public, we're keeping an eye on you 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. So we know where you are. And if you're hanging out at the wrong spot, if you're breaking curfew, because you were under curfew,
yeah,
correct?
Under curfew.
So it seems like a nice compromise. We